a lot of talk of make in India, but I preferred, R&D and then make in India. So do R&D and then make in India, and the R&D portion relies on the knowledge supply chain, not on a material supply chain. And that knowledge supply chain, I think, is a tremendous opportunity for India in the pharma industry, like in the services industry that we are in, and also in any other industry in India where we have the knowledge supply chain that's based on people. I think we can develop this as becoming the design hub of the world, not just the manufacturing hub of the world. I think there's a tremendous, tremendous potential there. Of course, on technology side, there's a lot of applications of technologies in the material supply chain, reverse auctions, doing some robotic process automation, which companies like us have implemented. I think the final thing I would say is, last 2 points I would say is localization of the supply chain, and we had taken this up again through COVID. About 65% of our supply chain was local in India. Now about 75% of our supply chain is local in India. About 30% of our supply chain was within 250 kilometers of where we need the material. Now about 45% of our supply chain is within 250 kilometers of where we need the material. So developing many more vendors and doing an vendor development program is an opportunity. And the last point is as we continue to mitigate supply chain risks, try to do it in a green manner. So green supply chain is a big initiative we have taken up. There's lots of things from training people to working with diverse suppliers, women-run companies. We're looking at reduction in paper. For example, our supply chain has reduced paper by about 70% pre-COVID to now. Just minimizing paper. So many green aspects: recycled paper, recycled packaging in our shipments, etc. So I think there's a big opportunity in green supply chains.
That's great. Thanks, Mani. Suresh?
Yeah, so I think Sanjeev touched upon the fact that we will need to be moving in, and especially in the CEO roundtable as well, there are a lot of discussion that we need to get back on the path of discovering in India, okay, and especially the biologics and the new targeted therapies. These are the ones which we need to. So we have the right, we'll have to create the right ecosystem for that to happen. And in fact, we had a stakeholder consultation with Madam the other day. And one of the suggestions was that probably, as an opportunity which I look at is that can we have institute to institute collaborations in research? Because that creates, because whenever a pharmaceutical company goes into research academia to search for candidates, the proof of concept is there, and now it's up to us to invest and take it from proof of concept to patient and efficacy and everything else. But we don't start with proof of concept. I mean, nobody gets into academia with proof of concept. So the collaborative research with other major institutions globally would give us an opportunity for us to be on the cutting edge of the current research rather than trying to re-engineer things of what is already there in India. So we will be really on cutting edge. That's one opportunity. The other opportunity which I look forward to, and I think Sanjeev mentioned about the API industry, really going down because of various decisions. I think at some point in time we will have to be cognizant that quality, the cost of quality is very important to be captured in the pricing of the product. Because today what is happening is you have a product A which has X plus 10 quality system, and you have a product B which has X plus 2 quality system, which is acceptable. Both are acceptable. But you know what, this A person is spending a lot more on quality, and you have the B person spending less on quality. But you know what, you mix both these products and you come up with a C pricing, which becomes very difficult for the quality oriented companies to continue providing that quality. And sometimes, as global multinationals, we can't compromise, so we have to just stop doing it. We have no other choice to do it, right? So at some point in time, and we were actually discussing, Madam, it's there in the Ayush. There's a precedence in the Ayush where you have a standard and a premium product, so we should look at an opportunity where quality is incentivized by the government so that we can really provide high quality products to the thing. The last point which I want to make is, when I was walking around in the trade show, everything is about tech. I think we need to leverage technology, and I think some of the emerging technology like blockchain, and I think there was some mention in the earlier panel on counterfeiting how do you ensure end-to-end tracking and tracing of products? And I think the government bringing in the QR coding for the top 300 brands is a step in the right direction. But you know what, there is a cost to it again, because we were just evaluating the cost of implementing it. So everything has a cost to it, but I think the end-to-end, today when I order something on Amazon, it's tracked throughout until it reaches me, right? And after it reaches, it goes back to the company. I don't think we have that kind of trackability in the medicines today. It goes up to the retailer, and then if I want recall from the retailer, it's a humongous task. I think there needs to be a lot more technology like blockchain, or even in the supply chain planning, you could use artificial intelligence, machine learning to bring about predictive analytics, which will enable us to forecast better, keep less inventory, save on costs. There are so many opportunities. I think technology can be leveraged quite a lot. So that's definitely an opportunity for us.
Sure. So I think especially from our industry colleagues, we have heard that in terms of the improvements that they made during the last few years, which made them extremely competitive, because working through the logistics, working through the digital part of it in the supply chain, use of technology has been quite a bit. So I think that bodes well for the future. I think that's something all of us feel very confident and also feel very encouraged. Also I think the topic of regulation came about. Suresh, you talked about it, and so did Sanjeev. Of course, I mean that's something all of us anticipate. It's also one of the things the industry is looking forward to, and I'm sure the government is certainly looking forward to that. So, I mean, in the interest of time, just to wrap it up with one of the last topics, and then we'll just leave it open for a couple of questions. Maybe I'll start with you, Narendra, because of late, a lot of discussion on sustainability, ESG, right? So even from an investor's perspective, there's also specialized funds for that. There are also, in your own areas that you categorize companies, we've heard Mani talk about, the green way of doing things. A lot of companies have gone in this forward. So from an investor's perspective, how do you see this in terms of a important dimension when it comes from an investor's perspective? And then probably we'll also hear it from the panelists in terms of their thoughts, on how they're also implementing it within their companies.
It's a great question, Satish. So ESG now has become a cornerstone for investing in general. I'd say there was originally a view that ESG funds will do ESG investing, but it's now clear that having a framework for assessing ESG and then having a continuous monitoring mechanism to see how our companies are doing against that framework, I think that's now percolated through the system. And it's not just us as private equity firms. If you went to public market investors, they are tracking it. If you went to institutional investors who give us money, they are tracking it. So now it's almost like has become a sort of standard of what needs to happen. And I think increasingly all of our portfolio companies, it's a number one priority.
Sure, absolutely. Well, that's great to hear from what we see from an investor's perspective. Maybe if from the company's point of view, and even from the government's point of view, how do you see this evolving? We could also like to hear your thoughts. Maybe to start with you first.
I do think it is going to be an important issue. There are 2-3 aspects. One is, as I mentioned, green manufacturing standards could act as non-tariff barriers to access. So in addition to being able to protect our own environment, it would also become a critical element in being a part of the global supply chain. So that is something where investments are welcome. I did mention technology, and a lot of technology is around this.
Sure.
Second is, I think, in development, product development, there is a lot of scope now, not strictly ESG, but around addressing AMR issues. So that is again a great opportunity, though it may appear like a challenge, but I think there is a great opportunity there. And third, I think, is weaving in, and that is where India does have an advantage, weaving in this paradigm of access and affordability along with environmental issues, sustainability, value, innovation is where we should be able to find our niche. We should be able to say that innovation does not necessarily mean inaccessible or elite or exclusive. these products should be for the community as a whole.
Absolutely. That's a very important point. Access and affordability is also a key component in terms of what drives our decisions in our companies when we price a product and also develop it in terms of the needs that's required. So maybe, because in the interest of time, if you can just quickly talk about what your company is very focused on, each of your companies. If you can start with Suresh, then Mani and Sanjeev. Very quickly, please. Thanks.
Yeah. So today, locally we are looking at efficiencies now in terms of, how we market the product. And I think Madam brought about this question of access. And I think yesterday we were having a conversation that if we gave all the products free of cost, does that mean all the patients will be treated? And I'm just giving you an example of glaucoma, which I discussed in the morning breakfast table. 8 million patients are suffering from glaucoma today, and only 2 million are treated. And you have medicines which are less than 1 rupee per day to treat glaucoma, right? So which means that cost is not access. And hence, what are we doing as a company? We are focusing a lot on patient origination. How do you get these patients to go and get checkups in the eye hospitals? My mother, for example, to go and get checkup in the eye hospital every year in a comprehensive manner so that the glaucoma can be detected. Because there is no pain, no this thing, and until you go 50% blind, you don't know that you have a problem with your eye. So I'm just taking one of those examples, but I think that is true for most of the disease. So market shaping or creating the diagnostic leverage or the patient origination or the treatment part is going to be extremely important for access. It's just not about just the product availability or the pricing. It's to do also with some kind of mechanism to get the patients to do standard testing every year, and especially since we are an aging population, ma'am. So this is going to be very important for us.
Sure. More in the interest of the patient, absolutely. Mani?
Yeah, our sole focus is to take advantage of the China Plus One. Just to give you one example, we are quite big in chemistry. We probably are the largest in India in chemistry. We have about 2,400 chemists. But all of India has maybe 7,000, 8,000 chemists. China has maybe 40,000 chemists. And how do we create that knowledge supply chain of, right from schools to industry, that we can create enough of these so that we become the choice for R&D globally. So that's the focus. For that, we are doing a lot of things, from using digital technologies to alternate vendor development to ESG to all of this. But we should become globally a real alternate to China and take advantage of it. That's the sole focus right now that I'm driving.
Great. Sanjeev?
So as regards sustainability, I think we are focusing a lot more on innovation. So we have very strong now pipeline in R&D, which ensures that there is sustainability. On the other side of sustainability, on ESG goals, making it very simple, not trying to change the world. We have got simple goals. What kind of green power percentage we will have, what kind of water will be used, how much water will we use, what is recyclable in our company. So it's not first changing anything else around us, we are trying to change ourselves. And are we really worthy enough to ensure that we are doing the right things? So that's probably at this moment what we are trying to do.
Sure. Thanks, Sanjeev. Just to add from our company also, it's one of the most important things. We're one of the first pharma companies to have published a sustainability report, even though it was not mandatory in those days. But outside just publishing reports and all that, it's the activity that we used to do since a very long time. And now we have actually made commitments. This is something which is being reviewed at every board meeting. The agenda is set by the board, and our co-chairman, managing director, Mr. Prasad, G.V. Prasad, he's extremely passionate about this. He's been driving a lot of things in the company since a very, very long time. He leads it from the company, this whole effort. And this is something which has consciously been taken up, and we have taken along various dimensions this aspect of ESG. Also, for example, even in terms of the patients served, alluding to what you just said, Suresh, we said that today maybe our products serve about 675 million people worldwide. We are saying that we should reach a target by 2030 of 1.5 billion people. We should reach that. For example, even gender parity. We are saying that it's a very small percentage of women working in our workforce. I mean, I don't want to say the figure because I myself feel embarrassed. But we are actually saying that we have a target, that we should get to 50% by 2030. It's a huge ask, but certainly we have made the commitment to get there. And also in terms of a leadership among women, we said that we should reach at least 35%, and we also said 3% of our workforce by 2030 should be for people with disabilities. Very tall commitments we have taken, but entire companies rallied behind it, because unless you bring this, set the tone at the top, things will never get there. But that's something we have also practiced in our company. So I think we have absolutely run out of time. Is there time for questions? Or? No? Yes, no? So I think we really have cut short on time. So my apologies, we are not able to take any questions. And exactly. So very sorry about that, that we are not able to leave this open for questions. So once again, wanted to thank all our panelists. Special thanks to Madam Aparna for all your insights and very clear articulation of what the priorities are for the sector, especially not only just from a supply chain point of view, but overall in terms of how the government is thinking about it and its priorities. How it's getting shaped up. So again, once again to all the panelists, Narendra, thank you very much. Suresh, Mani and Sanjeev, thank you very much for this. I hope this has been fruitful. Once again, my apologies for not leaving the floor open for questions. We are really short of time. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to the panelists. May I request Mr. Satish Reddy to please felicitate the panelists. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all. I hope you've all had a great networking time over the past 2 days. Although we are opening the exhibition for a few hours tomorrow, but we've come to a close of the conference today. So to start with the valedictory ceremony, we will first invite the top 5 startups who are selected out of the Startup Stage Showcase at the 20th anniversary of BioAsia edition. We had about 400 startup applications, out of which 76 were shortlisted. And out of the 76, we had a jury panel of 12 eminent doctors, venture capitalists, industry experts who shortlisted these 5 startups. So please welcome me in inviting the first shortlisted startup, Exobot Dynamics Private Limited. May I invite Mr. Munish Kumar on the stage? Munish, you have a few minutes to talk about your startup.
Hello everyone, thanks for having me this evening. So it's been a lovely evening here, sitting with all of you guys here. So I'm Manish Kumar, founder of Exobot Dynamics. So as you can tell, I'm working on bionic limbs for the people with disabilities. So if there is anyone who have lost their limbs, any accident or anything, this is the way to go. Okay, so how it started it in 2014. So when my father was traveling through a train and he had a train accident, fell off the train and lost both his arms. So we were in Delhi at that time and trying to find a solution. But the most of the solution that we came across lacked some fundamental things, like they were too heavy. They didn't have the movements required to do all the tasks, and they were too expensive. So we couldn't find a good solution and just came back home. But somehow the problem stuck with me, and I tried to solve this problem on my own. So after 3.5 years, I developed this. This is the fourth prototype of our bionic hand. So the thing is, I wanted to target all the problems in the commercial devices that are present there. So I have included all the facilities, functionality that is there in a human hand. So most of you people have tried this also in my P41 stall. So it can move like a real hand, and it is very lightweight. So it is lighter than most of the hands in the world right now. And I have made it affordable as well, so that a larger audience can get this device. For people from lower cities and towns, despite of their financial condition and the class, they can afford this device. So this is the prototype that we have. I'll show you how it works. Is the terminal device. It has battery and all the motors here. Or this has EMG sensor that pick up signals from your muscles. Right? So when you deliver signals to it, it will convert into finger movements. So we have different modes set up into the device. This is the first mode, the natural hand mode. So when you are not picking up anything, you're just walking, you can use this mode. Then there are other modes like the power grip, if you want to hold anything with power. The pinch grip, and the tripod grip for holding pans and small things like spoons. Yeah. And this is a lateral grip for holding keys and all these things. And finally, is the punch. If you want to punch someone, you can use this mode also. Yeah. So we have the prototype ready. We are now looking for clinical trials and going to the market as soon as possible. To do so, I need support of all of you guys here. So let's join hands to enable people and change the lives of 1 million of people who are waiting for such a solution. And it was wonderful talking to you guys. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Manish. We will be felicitating all the top 5 startups in a while as well. Let me invite the next startup, Lambda Gene Therapeutics, Mr. Pravesh Gupta.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? So it's my privilege to be here, and it's been a great 2 days event where I have interacted with lots of eminent people here. So just to tell you 3 stories which led to development of a product which is in proof of concept. Story number 1, we were trying to understand a data which is available in public domain, which is with respect to the cellular composition of human brain. And we struggled a lot to understand what is the immune composition of human brain beyond microglia. So we created the largest data set for human brain tumor patients and identified myeloid cells, which are the first responders against any diseases that protect the integrity of the brain. So we asked the next question, can we find a similar kind of cell in human blood? Yes, we identified those cells. And then we tried to understand what are the molecular circuits that we can engineer in human blood to mimic a brain myeloid cell phenotype. And we were able to successfully identify those molecular circuits. But these molecular circuits are very complex, and no genome engineering technologies can engineer such complex circuits. So we have a solution from Lambda Gene Therapeutics, which is a non-viral genome engineering tool which can package these complex circuits. So what do we aspire to do? We want to create a human cancer vaccine for brain tumors that will be end-to-end and produce personalized for individual patients within 24 hours. That's our aspiration, and we are ready to go to clinical trials within next 1 to 1.5 years. And this is a platform technology that can be applied to any number of cancers, and it is not associated with any kind of mutation specifics which are found in different tumors. Solid cancer is a big problem in the industry, and we plan to disrupt this industry with our technology. Thank you. And we would love if you can partner with us, in any stage. Thank you.
Congratulations, Pravesh. May I now invite the third startup, Pratibha HealthCon, Dr. Pranay Garg.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really happy and feel very encouraged to be here today. I'm a startup which has grown in Telangana 7 years ago, and it's been a long journey. We are addressing the problem of primary access to healthcare within underserved communities. When I started 7 years ago, it was very boring, not very exciting, but given the background that I come from, I'm an Air Force veteran of 2 decades, a business leader from a Fortune 50 company, but decided to come and make impact. So fundamentally, objective being outreach and impact, we created an end-to-end connected care system in a public health setting that will help in population screening, risk evaluation, and pushing the base of pyramid into the care continuum to be able to either be treated for chronic diseases or be referred to hospitals. So we fundamentally fill that space outside of hospitals into underserved communities. From an impact perspective, over the last 5 years, our solutions would have touched more than 5 million people. We have worked with leading healthcare providers, one within Hyderabad, Apollo Telehealth. We are also currently working with the northeastern state, where all the 16 districts use our solution. We have screened about 300,000 people over the last 10 months, done about 10,000 consultations with remote patient monitoring and teleconsultation, and we have about 1,800 healthcare workers touching our system across 185 centers and impacting 16 districts. So that being said, we are an early stage startup, definitely looking for growth, and very happy to be partnering with public-private partners who would be able to lead solutions into population screening within states. Our go-to-market is direct access. We are also open innovation partners to corporations, where we are able to sort of create those kind of solutions that can be absorbed by bigger corporates for execution. That being said, very happy and encouraged once again today, and thank you for all your support. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Pranay. Now the next startup, Ms. Pooja Goswami from Ramja Geno Sensor.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Dr. Pooja. I would like to tell you everyone here, the most important problem is infection. And everybody take it in a very, very simple note. People do die because of infection, not sometimes because of cancer. Here, before discussing about what we have developed, I would just like to tell you a small story. I lost my father due to infection during his chemotherapy. So we all know when patients do go for chemotherapy, their immune system go down. But such a critical issue, but still people and physicians do prescribe prophylactic antibiotics because the detection methods do take 3 to 5 days. And all those 3 to 5 days, you need a trained people team, almost 10 to 11 people is required, and you need a huge infrastructure. And still you will get results in 5 days later. And that too with the sensitivity means 27% means even there are 100 patients who have infections, they may chance of getting develop sort of deferral complications, but still you will get results of only 27 patients. So by that time in 2014, I'm a clinical scientist. I do not have any options. Left it with only the wrong results which I received when my father passed away. Since then, I'm working on a solution to fill this time gap of 5 days. I just wanted to make this time maybe five, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day. But luckily now we are ready with a solution, just a small device like a tablet, and this can give you result of any infection and antimicrobial resistance in just 90 minutes. So right now, our doctor can prescribe you what kind of infections you have, what kind of antibiotics you should immediately prescribe to a patient who is actually suffering from any problem when they're in ICU, in the surgery, or in any critical care positions. This device is already been patented in India, in US, and we have completed the clinical trial at AIMS Delhi, and now we are in the regulatory. And we are also developing the AI-based algorithm for the same. And we are very much open and looking forward for further collaborations.
Congratulations, Pooja. So finally, we have the fifth startup, Satya RX Pharma Innovations Private Limited, Mr. Murthy Chawali.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for this recognition, and I'd like to briefly talk about what we do. We are an oncology drug discovery startup that is right now focused on a very specific area called DNA damage response, where we have a few programs that we have started working on over the last 3 years when we first started Satya. So the first of our programs is a first-in-class inhibitor of a protein that is expected to eventually result in efficacy in difficult to treat solid cancers. And in a remarkably short period of 3 years, we are already at a stage where we are hoping to be able to file an IND on this over the course of this year, before the end of this year. We have a few other programs within the same technology space, all targeted towards DNA damage response. And we hope to be able to build a portfolio of these programs for the global markets. In parallel, as we do this, we are also pivoting our approach to be able to generate NCEs in relatively more proven biologies that would actually be targeted at markets, including India and other emerging markets, where we believe there is a significant opportunity to come up with cost-efficient drugs using our local ecosystem, both for discovery as well as development. And this, we believe, over a period of time will help us launch into a product company, a pharmaceutical company that is completely research-oriented and research-based. And we hope to be able to work on this for the next 5 to 10 years. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and congratulations on an extremely well-organized conference. Thank you.
Congratulations, Murthy. Congratulations to all the top 5 startups, and our best wishes to all the 76 as they grow in their startup journey. May I now invite the dignitaries on the dais for the valedictory ceremony. Honorable Minister of Industries and Commerce, Government of Telangana, Shri K.T. Ramarao. Honorable Vice Minister, Ministry of Economy and Innovation of the Republic of Lithuania, Mr. Karolis Zemaitis. The Excellency, Ms. Catherine Kivi, Estonia's Ambassador to India. Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Department Government of Odisha, Shri Ashok Chandra Panda. Shri B.P. Acharya ji, retired IS officer. Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, IAS Principal Secretary to Government of Telangana Industries and Commerce Department. Mr. Satish Reddy, Chairman Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. Mr. Shakti Nagapan, Director Life Sciences and Pharma, Government of Telangana. Thank you to the dignitaries. May I now invite Honorable Vice Minister of Ministry of Economy and Innovation of the Republic of Lithuania, Mr. Karolis Zemaitis, to briefly address the audience, please.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and you know, it's been already a long day, and I know that listening at the late night in the evening, listening to group of politicians might be a little bit hard for you, so I will be trying to be as entertaining as possible, as a politician can be entertaining. So ladies and gentlemen, my name is Karolis and I'm the Vice Minister of Economy and Innovation of Republic of Lithuania. We are a very small and, as you can see, young country in Northern Eastern Europe of population of 3 million. And I had the pleasure and opportunity to enjoy this magnificent company and discussions in the conference, as well as meeting some Indian companies. And I have to tell you, I feel like at home in Telangana because in Lithuania, we have the three main priorities, being ICT, high-tech engineering, and life sciences. And together with His Excellency the Minister, we discussed that we have so much in common, being the drivers of innovation and working together. So for us, it is important to build these bridges. We fully understand that Lithuania is a very small country, but we see a lot of potential already with the Indian companies, with Lithuanian companies developing and working together. To explain you how important life sciences in Lithuania is, Thermo Fisher Scientific, which is an American company that you might know, is the biggest corporate taxpayer in Lithuania. And actually the the corporate tax is not very high, so they don't pay much of the taxes actually. But anyway, they are a significant part of our life sciences ecosystem, as well as the startups that we have and that we are very proud of, especially in the area of gene editing, with the CRISPR technology being also created by Lithuanian professor and being known throughout the world. Right now we are happy to have already closed 3 unicorns for 3 million population, and for us, the 4th unicorn most probably will be in the healthcare. What I would like to emphasize as well, what we are extremely proud of, is that 60% of our researchers are female, meaning that we are taking care of the inclusion and diversity of our scientific ecosystem. You have 15,000 life sciences scientists in Lithuania for 3 million people. That's a relatively high number, waiting for you to cooperate together. So, as a representative of Lithuanian government, I'm sure that we can create that bridge and we can work together to cooperate, and we are ready. We have the embassy here, we have our people all around India ready to work with you. And Lithuania can be a gateway to Indian companies, India can be a gateway to Lithuanian companies. And as we also like to say in Lithuania, seeing is believing, and I believe in Telangana's ambition, I believe in Telangana's and Hyderabad's innovation and determination to grow. And that's why I would like to invite you in September to come to Lithuania to Life Science Baltics, LSB. This is the largest life sciences conference in the region, in our European region, to see and believe in Lithuania's potential as well. Thank you very much for magnificent hospitality. It's been an honor to be here, to represent Lithuania, and also to enjoy the ambition of Hyderabad. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. May I now invite the Excellency Ms. Katrin Kivi, Estonia's Ambassador to India, to briefly address the audience.
Mr. Minister Kiti Ramarao, Excellencies, I see my Lithuanian colleague here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my third visit to Hyderabad, and I'm really happy to be back to the pharma capital of the world, not just India. I'm also privileged to have this time a delegation with me of Estonian pharma and biotech companies, because pharma and biotech, this is one of the most vibrant sector in Estonian innovation. And as of innovation, innovation without investments into infrastructure, without scaling up, without digitalization is not so successful. But fortunately, my country is well known as a European, if not world capital of digitalization, e-governance, cybersecurity. So if we put together our skills and your scale and knowledge, we could do, I'm sure, very wonderful things. I would truly invite you to come to Estonia and learn also one of our unique centers. It's namely the Genomics Bank, which has been created already in 2001. And until now, we have been able to collect about 20% of Estonian adults' population DNA. And this information serves as very valuable data for development of both domestic and international biological and medical science. This genomics park is, of course, I mean, the research is voluntary, not that we collect it from all Estonians, but it is very valuable database for to research non-communicable diseases like cancer, diabetes, and also the interaction or what role what interlinkage between the genes and environment and common diseases. We have lots of Estonian unicorns and startups like around our universities working as cluster. As of startup and unicorns, my country is #1 in Europe, and we have also a startup festival called Latitude 59, but also a very specific biotech startup festival as well. So I would like to really encourage you to come, and we could together investigate very valuable avenues for collaboration, and I would end up here because I know you are tired of the conference already, but I would really commend the leadership of Kiti Ramarao together with Jayesh Ranjan. This is wonderful what you have been doing here. I have been here in India since 4 years already, and I really trust what you are doing. And I will say you my final secret: I have eyes made in Hyderabad, because I trust you and your science so much that I got like new eyes in Maxi Vision Hospital from Dr. Kiti Kasuprasad Reddy. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening. It has been a pleasure to be here together with my companies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. May I now invite Sri Ashok Chandra Panda, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology Department, Government of Odisha, to briefly address the audience.
Good evening. I welcome all the delegates to this edition of BioAsia 2023. With me on dais, Honorable Minister Shri K.T. Ramarao of Telangana Government, and Mr. Karolis Žemaitis, Vice Minister, Minister of Economy and Innovation in the Republic of Lithuania, and Mrs. Catherine KV, Ethiopian Ambassador to India, and Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, IAS Principal Secretary to Government of Telangana, and Dr. Reddy's MD, and Mr. Dr. Sanjay Saxena, and other dignitaries and dais, members of press, and esteemed dignitaries of the dais. At the outset, I am honored to get an opportunity to visit this very place and meet many luminaries, those are working in the biotech sector, and particularly I am happy and express candidly that I have come across a person like K.T. Ramarao, who is full of ideas, potentials, and very friendly, and speaks, I think each sentence of him displays the innovations and also talks of potentials and also talks of benefit to the common man, whether in his state or any state in India. I am really moved by his personality and his thoughts. As all of us know that Odisha, the another state in Indian Union, has a rich, glorious past and a vibrant present and a promising future under the dynamic leadership of veteran Chief Minister Sri Naveen Patnaik. From 2000 till date, he has left no stone unturned to ensure the benefits reaches the last man on the row, last man on the queue, and the benefits reach every nook and corner of the state. Only yesterday his finance minister presented 2,20,000 crore budget in the state assembly, which was only 20,000 crore in 2000 when he took over the charge as chief minister. I need not go into details, but as all of us know that my state is the heartland of India's mineral deposits and natural bioresources and ranks 9th in terms of land area and 11th in terms of population in the country. Keeping in mind the importance of this biotechnology sector, Government of Odisha in its IPR 2022 has identified biotechnology as a third sector. All eligible biotechnology ventures will be given adequate government hand holding with support offered by various policies, ranging from biotechnology policy to startup policy, to set up enterprises and grow with industry, academia, linkage, collaborative environment, world-class industrial facilities, network of angel and venture capitalist funds, and government support. This sector is poised to grow. The growing ecosystem for startups in the existing bio incubators, KIT, TBI, DBTILS, bio incubator, and others has already been marching in the equal space as elsewhere in the country. Simultaneously, the state is inviting bio entrepreneurs, investors, and industries to invest in Odisha. An innovative bio business model for Odisha shall be built by integrating biotech R&D, bio entrepreneurship, and bio industry for bioeconomy development together. With government support under Biotechnology Policy 2018 and IPR 2015, Bharat Biotech, through its anchor tenant MS Sapigen Biologics Private Limited has invested more than 500 crores for manufacturing various vaccines in Odisha Biotech Park at Andarwa near the state capital. They have also committed to invest another 700 crores for expanding its scope. During the MIO Make in Odisha conclave, which was held recently last year in 2022, Science and Technology Department signed MOU with Association of Biotechnology-led enterprise ABLE to bring biotech industries to Odisha to mentor and nurture biotech startups, bring international knowledge groups to Odisha for investment purpose and to prepare a conducive biotech policy for Odisha. An international body, global network of entrepreneurs and professionals for Odisha has signed MOU to facilitate global Odisha entrepreneurial exchanges to provide a platform for bio-entrepreneurship development in Odisha with global outreach, identify and submit a mix of 10 potential contacts, mentors, entrepreneurs, investors, networkers, entrepreneurial professionals, corporate ventures, VCs, angels, every year from across the globe, those who have commitment and desire to help bio startup in Odisha. Hugh Well Life Sciences has committed to invest 50 crores in the Make in Odisha conclave which was held last year. Similarly, Crop Genie has proposed to invest 500 crores. In total, rupees 1250 crores investment has come during Make in Odisha in conclave 2022 in biotechnology sector in Odisha. The investment will generate direct and indirect employment opportunity more than 10,000 people. So, at the end, before I conclude, I must say, the Odisha, the land of Lord Jagannath, has always had a maritime, glorious maritime past, and not only that, our people went to South Asia and Southeast Asia, flourished in maritime trade. And today, with Honorable Chief Minister, we are promising a lot for not only for our people, we are indirectly also contributing to the national economy as well as benefit to our people. And definitely I welcome all of you, those in this sector, to come to Odisha and take opportunity and the facilities, and we are ready to help you and serve you and will be a good partner. Thanking you, Bande Utkal Janani. Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much, sir. May I now invite the Honorable Minister for Industries and Commerce, Government of Telangana, Shri K.T. Rama Rao, to briefly address the audience, please.
Good evening. Thank you to all the participants who have participated over the last couple of days. Firstly, I welcome the Honorable Minister from Lithuania, a very young man, Karolis, only 29 years old. Can you believe it? Karolis, I must tell you, you spoke really, really well. And I loved the way you talked about how the ecosystem here and back in Lithuania actually can complement each other. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. I'm sure lots of very exciting opportunities for those entrepreneurs who are looking to use Lithuania as a gateway into Northern Europe and Europe at large, mainland Europe at large. Thank you to Honorable Minister Satish Pandaji. Thank you, sir, for coming back to BioAsia. Really appreciate you taking the time, and thank you for presenting the opportunities that are available for all the entrepreneurs in the state of Odisha. Thank you also to Catherine Kivi, the Ambassador of Estonia. Catherine, it's always a delight to have you back in our city. And like I told you last time, I have a special tie and special memory of Estonia, which I can't, of course, mention on the mic here. We'll of course, talk about it later. Thank you very much, Catherine, for coming back. BP Acharya ji, in fact, he sent me pictures yesterday of, I think, the first BioAsia back in the day, 20 years ago. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for everything that you have done for the state. for everything that you've done for this sector. Jayesh Ranjan, my Principal Secretary, and of course our own Life Sciences Advisory Council Chairman and the Chairman of Dr. Reddy Labs, Sri Satish Reddy, thank you very much. And the man who made all of this happen, and to his team, Shakti Nagappan, thank you, our Director Life Sciences. I must thank him. I think he deserves a big round of applause, guys. He and his entire team, Paridhi and the entire team that works with Shakti, they deserve a huge round of applause. This year's BioAsia, as you all know, is the 20th edition of this event. It's a marquee event. It's one of the largest events for life sciences in Asia and in India for sure. You know, this year, in fact, has been the biggest attendance in terms of the impact it has created. More than 2,015 delegates have attended. More than 175 plus exhibitors and startups have participated in the trade show. And you've just heard some from 5 finalists, who are the startups who have come in. I'm delighted that they are looking at more and more innovation. I'm very excited. I was very excited to listen into some of them. More than 50 countries represented over the last 2 days. More than 2,000 plus B2B meetings. And like I said, this is the biggest BioAsia in terms of numbers in the history of this event. My compliments to the entire team who's done really well. But what I'm excited about is the road ahead. Because if you think about all the deliberations, if you reflect on all the conversations that have happened, I'm truly excited about the possibilities on how technology can act as a force multiplier to help the life sciences industry innovate and help the life sciences industry scale in terms of its ambition. And how the resources that we have, the most precious resource that we have at our disposal, the human capital, the young India, can truly come, to the party and start working on world-class products and start working on world-class innovations. And thirdly, and most importantly, I'm also excited about the opportunity that India presents for the rest of the world. In terms of scale, I think in terms of manufacturing, medical devices, in terms of manufacturing pharmaceuticals, in terms of manufacturing all kinds of life sciences products, there is no better location than in India. And among Indian states, I think there is anybody who can truly match up to the kind of abilities that Telangana, in fact, possesses. As I mentioned yesterday, the ecosystem currently in Telangana is at about $80 billion. But we are hopeful and we are very ambitious. We have set a very ambitious and an audacious agenda for ourselves. And we have received great response. We would love to see this triple in size from $80 billion today to $250 billion by 2030. Now that is an ambitious agenda that will help not only the state of Telangana, but the entire life sciences industry in India. So I look forward to having more meaningful conversations. I look forward to having more meaningful collaborations, most importantly, because the theme of BioAsia this year was advancing for one humanity. That can only happen by a multilateral collaborative approach, engaging all forms of stakeholders, cutting across geographical boundaries, cutting across regional, religious, social boundaries, reaching and including everybody. I'm a firm believer in the 3I mantra: innovation, infrastructure, and inclusive growth. These three I's together can make the 4th I, India, a truly powerhouse of a talent and first world country in times to come. So all the very best. Jai Telangana, Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you for your continued patronage and leadership. Before we felicitate the top 5 startups, we would like to express our sincere thanks and appreciation to our jury members who did multiple rounds of the 76 startups in the past 2 days. Mr. Ajit Rangnikar from RICH, Dr. Chinna Babu Sunkavali from Grace Cancer Foundation, Dr. Ambu Chaturvedi from IKP Knowledge Park, Dr. Tejo Pratap Oleti from Fernandez Hospital, Dr. Ramesh Bhairappaneni from India Partners, Dr. Makaran Javatekar, former Director Pfizer, Mr. Rajesh Duddu from Tech Mahindra, Dr. Sanjay Saxena from BIRAC, Professor Ramesh Loganathan from IIIT Hyderabad, Professor Renu John from IIT Hyderabad, Dr. Ramji Palela from CCMB, and Dr. Suresh Babu Munuswamy from IIPH. Thank you to the jury members. I now invite the dignitaries on the dais to please felicitate the top 5 startups. We are very thankful to Tech Mahindra as startup state sponsor. I invite Mr. Rajesh Tudu, Senior Vice President, Global Head Blockchain and Metaverse from Tech Mahindra on the stage. I also thank BIRAC, Department of Biotechnology, for awarding 50,000 cash prize to each startup. I invite Dr. Sanjay Saxena, General Manager and Head Investment from BIRAC on the stage. We also thank Amazon Web Services for $22,000 worth of AWS credits to each top startup. I now invite our startups on the stage. Exobot Dynamics, Mr. Munish Kumar, Lambdagen Therapeutics, Mr. Pravesh Gupta, Pratibha HealthCon, Mr. Pranay Garg, Ramja Genosensor, Ms. Pooja Goswami, and Satya RX Pharma Innovations, Mr. Murthy Chawali. Please join me in congratulating the startup. Congratulations to the startups. We are now closing the BioAsia edition. We will see you tomorrow for the exhibition from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. But before we close, I invite the crew and the team and the colleagues of BioAsia to please come on stage.